Brian Powell of Iron Far here with Mario Mendoza before the 2018 Lake Sonoma 50 mile. How you doing, Mario?
I'm doing good. It's sunny, beautiful weather, and just loving it out here. So
it is a beautiful spring day, and it looks like we're gonna have more on tap for tomorrow. Is that?
Yeah.
You excited about that?
I am actually. It's gonna be a little warm, but I liked it. I like that weather, so
yeah,
it'll be nice.
This is not your first time to Lake Sonoma. You had some good success a couple years ago.
Yes.
Coming home with third, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
How did that race go for you?
It was one of those races I'll remember forever. Just because.
Why is that?
Dylan Bowman and I had just an awesome battle to the line. I thought he was done after I passed him at, I think it was mile 38. And he is tough, man. I couldn't drop him. Got out of the last aid station and he's like 30 seconds behind me, and I'm like, oh man, this guy, he's tough. And he was right on my heels with about a mile to go, and then he flew by me, just like if we were doing a 5K.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I didn't go this far not to respond, you know. So I did the exact same thing basically back. I sat on his heels, and then just the last 400 just blasted it with all I had, and it was enough, but it was close. It was a fun race for me.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me that day was that week before I had been sick, and so I was trying to decide whether to race or not. And so the whole race was just kind of one of those where I almost dropped out a couple times, just not feeling good, and was proud that I stuck in it and stayed in it. And then when I started kind of seeing that hope of like, yes, it's possible to get to the finish line, I think like really my competitiveness just took over, and it was nice to see that one through. So
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, as an outside observer, at least it seemed like as you were making the transition up to 50 miles and 100K, you were kind of hit or miss. You had this really long, you had a really long history of some great shorter distance trail running. What, if that's fair to say, what didn't you and what have you figured out that's really changed your success?
Yeah, so last year is the first year I would say was consistent all the way through. Yeah. Okay. And I was very proud of it, because it's hard to have a consistent year like that, right? And really what I figured out, and this is a big secret, so I mean my competitors are gonna get it, is that it's always gonna hurt. It's always gonna hurt, and realizing that, and just like I think in the shorter races you sort of get to this place where you can relax a little bit, and an ultra is just, you just grind, you gotta stay in it. And so that was one of the things I learned, and preparing for that place where I'm gonna be tested. So I've been working on that a lot more, and I think that's made the bigger difference. And I think Strava opened my eyes to like just a little bit more training that I needed to do, and seeing that I need to get more hills. I need maybe I don't have the time to put in as much training, but I do need to hit those key days and get the quads strong. And what made you what was there a certain race that made you realize that like this pain there's going to be a lot of it and I've got to just accept it? And yeah, there's a few that I can remember. Lake Sonoma is one of them, definitely. That was one where I was like, wow, if it's possible on a day like that, then it kind of gave me like a confidence, like a hope. But honestly, like IAU, the 2016, in Portugal, that was a big breakthrough for me. I finished 123rd, and I got passed by everyone. And a lot of women, and it was a humbling experience. And I needed that. I needed to let go of the ego, like of like I'm way faster than this,
You've got to be top 5. You got to be
yeah, exactly. So it was just one of those races that I think that's the race probably I might be the most proud of, that or Lake Sonoma, because that one I had no quads left with 12 miles to go, and so I grabbed hiking poles and just got to the finish line. And so
did it feel good? If I'm remembering off the cuff here, the year later you were back at IAU. And it went differently.
A lot better. A lot better, yeah. So I went from 123rd to 9th place. So I don't know how that happens, but
with a really solid, like, consistent race.
Just the whole day I was moving up, and I was probably like top 20 within 8K, but then I just kind of one by one just kind of picked people off. And
you were charging those last 10 miles.
Oh man, I was feeling good. I got excited too, so that helped.
Now, is that kind of fun to know? Like, you know, there's going to be these times where you have to grind through, but there's also times when the race can get better as it goes along.
I've found that there's different physiologies out there. Like the bodies are different, and so for me, I kind of tend to be more of like a last 1/3 type of race kind of guy. And so it doesn't mean I can't like be in the race, but I think I don't know I've never gotten like testing to see where my VO2 max or all that stuff is, but it seems like I can kind of hold it together. If I'm there, I can hold that together toward, you know, that last 1/3. And there's something fun about just getting excited that when you smell that blood and you're like, somebody's afraid. You know, they're looking back, and so that's exciting for me. I really like that feeling. So kind of play your strengths.
And you've had a really good stretch here. As you said, you had a consistent year last year. You had a great run at IAU Worlds. You won Moab Trail Marathon again, another national championship. Starting out this year, you went to Bend Air 100K. You had a great race there. Got your I don't know if you accepted your golden ticket. Are you going to Western States?
I am.
All right.
I am.
So you have this really good stretch. Does that leave you pretty confident coming into Lake Sonoma this weekend?
That's another thing I've learned is I think it's good not to be too confident. You know, I think you've got to have this balance of being very humble, at the same time also being like tough and ready to battle. And so that's sort of that balance that I found. And I want to be a person that also talks about the bad races. I had a bad one at Trans-Gran Canaria, and it was, my luggage never made it, and that was a very stupid thing I've never really thought about before, but I checked my luggage.
And did it get in your head? Was it actually that you didn't have your things, or was it got in your head?
Well, so the hardest part was they found the luggage on Wednesday, and then they're like, it's going to get to you. So it's getting there tomorrow. We're putting it on the plane. We go to pick it up, and somebody didn't put it on the plane, right? And so this is like the last day. On Friday, I'm scrambling, putting stuff together. And so that was the hardest part. It totally distracted my mind from like that like peacefulness that I try to come on to a race with.
And it's a strange race because it starts at midnight. So like that Friday, you're scrambling to get
I had to get light, like a backpack, a jacket. Tim Tolson let me borrow some shoes. Like I had some road shoes because I was going to do some just like light running till all my stuff got there. And so that was my mistake. I mean, I take responsibility. I shouldn't have checked the bag.
Now you know.
You know, so stupid. But I even then I tried to finish. Like I'm like, I don't like not finishing a race now. It's just like leaves me feeling like I wimped out kind of thing. So I'm trying to toughen up.
So if you go out there and have a rough day on Saturday and the wheels fall off, we'll still see you come across that line most likely.
Honestly, like unless I tweak an ankle or get hurt or something or start vomiting, that, you know, I don't know, but I really want to finish.
That's a big shift in mentality.
Yes.
Because you did have a bunch of DNSs and DNFs and so speaking of that, like you were at Sonoma 2 years ago. You already have a golden ticket. There's a couple years where you signed up for Sonoma and didn't start. Why are you here?
Honestly, it's Tropical John's fault, man. So he emailed me in December, and he's telling me how much he likes Mexico. And he just hit that. Oh man, that's my soft spot, you know. So he's like traveling in Mexico, and I was there actually with my wife and my parents, and it was just like, I don't know, he's just so nice. And honestly too, I grew up in a place a lot like this. So I grew up on a farm in Central California, Central Coast, and when I raced here, I just kept thinking, like, that helped me. Like, that was just like, this just reminds me of home, the hills I grew up in. And it's just, I kind of tend to pick races now more on like the internal motivation. Yeah. Like if I feel attached to it somehow. And so for a while there, I actually had no interest of going to Western States. And then this year, that kind of came back. And then this race, I definitely had some kind of attachment to just the hills. I mean, it's just like where I grew up. I grew up on Stepladder Ranch, and it's just like it. It's exactly so it's a little bit same.
It's like having a 50 mile on your home
exactly
race course.
It just feels like I'm just running around in my little ranch. And so Tropical John just knew how to get
tug on your heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mario, enjoy your trip around your hills tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.